Hi there guys, so this weekend we've got the preview for Octarius Mission Briefing. So I thought I'd spend some time speculating on what that might be. So the main word here really is speculation. So I don't know anything more than most of you have probably already seen. There's been some rumours and that kind of thing, so I'll cover those too. So the biggest rumour really has been talk of the Death Core of Krieg getting some plastic models. These rumours have been going back to, as far as I can see, November last year. So the rumours at that time, and indeed has been going on since then, is that they'd appear in a new Kill Team set, and that set would include orcs. Now, we have seen recently some new orcs been announced and that kind of thing. I'm not sure if anything that we've seen is going to make it into this set. I hope not. I'm hoping for a big resurgence for the orcs, so lots and lots of new stuff. So I'm hoping whatever gets into this box from the orcs is something we haven't seen yet. Now, focusing back on Kill Team for a minute, so that's the other main rumour that's going around, is that there's going to be a brand new edition of Kill Team. So updated rules and all that kind of stuff. There's lots of other YouTubers and bloggers and that kind of thing that have been talking about it quite a lot, quite intensely for the last week or so. I'm not sure if that is everyone whipping themselves up into a frenzy and kind of circulating the same things that might not be true. But I'm choosing to believe that this is a new set and this is what's going to be happening. And what I'll do is I'll speculate what the new edition could mean or how it might change quite significantly going forward. But I'll put that towards the end of the video. Now, just to add some spice to those rumours, the current Kill Team core set or starter set is currently no longer available on the Games Workshop website. That is, at least in the UK. And to go with that, the core manual is also out of stock. Whether that will come back into stock before a potential new season comes out or new edition comes out, who knows? Now, obviously, Kill Team, Death Core of Krieg and Orcs are definitely featuring in this, quite simply because, you know, we're using the Kill Team fonts. We've got the Death Core of Krieg infantrymen in the background, and they're mentioning orcs and that kind of thing. So we are putting a few bits together here. However, I do expect there to be more announced outside of mainly Kill Team. So, for example, in the last few months, there's been quite a lot of teasers and images for different orcs and that, which we know are going to be coming our way. I expect more of that to be announced outside of what we can expect in Kill Team. And I'm sure there'll be another few other things in the background there that we can expect to see as well. Okay, so if we do get a new starter set, what are we likely to get within it? So obviously a new edition would feature a new core book with updated rules and potentially some new terrain. So the current newest terrain which came out along with 9th edition might not fit that well in the Octarius setting. So maybe we might see some orc terrain, which would be fantastic. Again, it's pure speculation, but it's nice to think about what could potentially happen. I mean, the Kill Team set that we can see in the image here was absolutely killer when it came out. That terrain that came with that was absolutely brilliant. Of course, the most recent starter set was Space Wolves and Tau, and it also had some Sector Mechanicus terrain. Also a great set, but a lot of that terrain specifically has been featured in lots of different places before, so it was very common. So I would really love to see some brand new terrain that coming out with this set as well for the new edition. Now, of course, it might not be a new edition, or it might be a new edition which doesn't come with a full set of terrain. So we might get something closer to the Pariah Nexus, which came out earlier this year. So that is basically some boards, some small scenery, basically doorways and some barrels and that kind of thing, along with our 2 sets of infantry, potentially some leaders in there as well. Or they could go Rogue Trader style, which is pretty similar to Pariah Nexus in the case of they have doorways and some small terrain features and that kind of thing without the bigger stuff. However, the units available within it are a little bit more unique and personal in terms of their scope. So, for example, the Gelapox Infected featured quite a varying range of different types of models inside that group. But whatever it is, I'm very, very much looking forward to it. Now, this is the first Kill Team content I've put out in quite some time. My last video on Kill Team was when I was moaning about the kill zones and the fact that some shady tactics were going on regarding the mis-selling of what people actually thought they were going to receive. So I'm hoping that this is going to be an opportunity for GW to redeem themselves with Kill Team, at least in my eyes. It did tarnish the game for me a little bit. I have felt a little bit differently about Kill Team recently owing to that, but I'm ready for a new edition. I'm really hoping that this is what it's going to be. And I have to say, there's going to be a lot of people with egg on their face if indeed this doesn't turn out to be an edition. You know, people like myself, lots of people who have been, you know, we're jumping on the bandwagon expecting this new edition to come out. So let's really hope that that happens. So to come back to the new edition, where could we potentially be going with Kill Team next? Now, for me, there's kind of two ways it could go. Number one is to draw itself in closer to the current edition of Warhammer 40,000. I'm very aware of what Kill Team Commanders did to the game and what Elites did further to it in terms of how the game changed and what happened to the normal playstyle that we had previously. So back when Kill Team originally launched, we had 100-point armies. Everything was about the little guy. So the individual infantry unit, what he could do on the battlefield and what made him special about the fight. That is everything that Kill Team was about. Then we moved on to Kill Team Commanders. All of a sudden it was less about the little guy, and then it was more to do with his leader. Not particularly his leader, the model, although it did make a big difference, but what that leader could do in terms of bringing his specialities into the game. Later on, we upped that a notch with Elites, which again, it made it a little bit less about those leader abilities, but more durability for those individual models on the board. But from that sense, what happens next? Do they go one stage further? Do they allow some light vehicles into the game that have got further movement and that kind of thing? It will make such a dramatic difference to the game that I'm not sure if it's going to be a good idea or not. Now, I do know there's plenty of people who play it in its original guise, who just play the game with their low-level infantry guys and play the game that way, and don't like the way that the game's been expanded and changed over the short period of time really since Kill Team came along. I think we're about 3 years on since that first starter set came out. Now, obviously with COVID going on, and really I haven't played a whole lot of Kill Team in the last couple of years. I do certainly feel like I've been collecting small sets and books for a couple of years, and that's as far as Kill Team's gone for me. But I do think that it will be interesting to see what happens next. They could either expand it so far that it completely breaks the game, or they could potentially expand it so you can look at something like Combat Patrol and start thinking about, right, how do we get as much of the content from these Combat Patrol games into a game of Kill Team? What they could do alternatively is they could look at the way that Warcry is played, not particularly from the stance of how you do hit rolls and all those different kind of things, the individual ways of playing the game there. I'm talking about setup, victory conditions, the way you do your deployment, the way they implement twist cards and change the game in that way. It does add a lot of different variety as to the way the game is played, and I think it's a very successful system as well. They could look at the campaign system over on Warcry, because that's a very interesting way of playing the game as well. But something I really like about Warcry is the way you collect your warbands. So these boxes here, if you remember those, used to be able to buy a unit that came with a small piece of terrain which you could start building your kill team around. Now, this was it was a decent way of doing it. I actually collected all of these boxes because I liked all the content. I particularly liked the tokens and all that kind of things that went with it. However, I do prefer the Warcry way of starting to collect units for new factions and that kind of thing. So if you look at the boxes at the top, we've got Flesh Eater Courts, Iron Jaws and Caradron Overlords. So what they do in those Warcry boxes is they give you a set of tokens in there. They give you the cards for playing all the different models that you get in that box. And what they do is they give you a small selection of 2 different types of units. So you've got not such a one-dimensional warband. You get different options available within that box. Another cool thing they do is, if you look at the images down the bottom, is that they put individual models in your games of Warcry that give you slightly different potential, different ways of playing the game. I love that. I think it's really good. It adds some genuine variety, which at the moment, at least for narrative play, Kill Team doesn't have. But anyway, I'm going to cease my ramblings there. It was really nice to do this type of video again. It's been a while since I've done something like this, and I do enjoy doing it. I do love the hype and the speculation and that kind of thing for when new things are going to come out. So it is really exciting. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. Much appreciated. Thanks for tuning in. I will come back to you on Saturday after the announcement's been made. I'll do a video covering all that kind of stuff and what I'm mostly excited for. I really hope we're getting a new edition of Kill Team. Not that there's anything wrong with the current edition. I love it. I really do. But I think that since we've moved on from 40k into 9th edition, all that kind of stuff, I do feel like I'd like to see something new from Kill Team. A big change. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you all very, very soon. Stay safe.